The first episode, I'll never forget, we were all watching, like, as a family. We had, like, a big party because the first show was coming out, and they bleeped my mom. And my mom doesn't cuss. And we were like, Mom! Like, we were all, like, so shocked. And she was like, I didn't say that. Like, I did not cuss. And we were like, what the heck? Like, that was so crazy. Because she was, like, running up bleachers in the first episode, and she was like, it was like, beep. But, like, she didn't say anything.
Really?
Yeah, and, like, I know that. My mom, like, she did not say anything. And so, because you know my mom, like, she's so funny and, like, the sweetest, like, chillest lady. Like, that just wasn't out of her character. She wouldn't have done that. And so, anyways, they were like, we kind of, like, fought the network on it.
This
like,
is once the episode has already been aired.
Yeah.
Oh, it was out.
Yeah, it was out.
The episode was out.
And we were like, hey, like, don't do that. Because, I mean,
I don't even know that
and
story.
Not,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
And also, like, I mean, we're human, you know? It's not like we're all not capable of dropping a word. But she was like, I actually didn't say that. So I don't want to be represented in that way if that's not even true. And they would always, at the beginning, they just didn't think it was going to work. Like, it's not going to work. A show on cable, a TV show, a reality TV show without the drama that most shows have, without the
fighting,
the this.
Yeah.
So they would always try to, like, stoke a fight between, like, the couples, or they would tell us to be. I remember one time in the episode, we were, like, picking up sticks for my grandpa, and they were like, hey, when he asks you, say no. And I was like, no way. There is no way I'm going to tell him no. Like, that would have been so disrespectful. And so I was like, they did it again. He's like, go pick up sticks. I was like, yes, sir. And they're like, no, like, just this time, just for the scene. And I remember our parents pulling us aside and saying, like, you never have to do something because they ask you to. Like, be true to who you are in that scene. And so we were true to who we are. And actually, people loved it because people were like, wow, respectful kids on TV. Like, it's so cool to see them respect their grandpa, which was true. And so they thought this is not going to work, but that's the very thing that worked, you know, that people love that. And then the drama comes from just the drama of, like I said, they literally would blow things up. They would do crazy things. My dad would come in and no one was working, and he'd be like, get your butts up and work. Like, you know, it was like funny drama, but it wasn't like hateful or rude or like too far. But yeah, the network, I think at the beginning, it was just like, how is this going to work? Because this is not the blueprint of reality TV, but it's what people want to see.
How cool.
It's really
I love
cool.
that. There was an episode where your family went frog gigging. I think it was like your Uncle Si's idea or something. And I remember, like, the show influenced me in a way because I remember telling my dad, like, Dad, have you ever been frog gigging? Like, we should definitely do this. And so my dad took me and my little brother and then my cousin who was visiting us from, like, a small town in Illinois at the time, and he had like a southern accent and everything.
Cool.
And we all went frog gigging. And sure enough, we ended up getting like just like in the episode how they got in trouble for frog gigging on a golf course. We got in trouble for doing it in a residential area because it was like a pond in a neighborhood. But there were so many frogs. So I mean, like, why would you not go to this? Yeah. I mean, there were probably 500 frogs at this pond. We were just catching them left and right.
Are you killing them?
So that's the thing. I felt really bad.
They would die eventually.
They die eventually. But no, that's the thing. The frog gigging, it's like a little spear, like a mini spear. But I felt really bad about using that. So we would catch them with nets, like little like nets you use on the beach,
and then put them out of the misery later.
And then I'm not gonna say what we did then. But
I'm just like, this is
anyway,
this.
now I feel really bad. But they tasted so good.
You
like,
ate
have you had frog
if you
legs?
kill it, you gotta eat it. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. That's the hunting. If you're gonna kill it, you gotta eat it.
There's hunting and killing.
I guess I didn't realize you were even killing them.
I'm not gonna.
But you eat it. You eat the frog.
Yeah, but the way I'm not gonna say how we did it, but it's like it was a very humane way of just like like instantaneous boom. They were out. But I feel like that's so much more ethical than some of the ways that they. I don't know.
Have you ever like ran over a frog in the rain?
I sure hope
I'm
not.
sure. I'm sure you
There's not a lot of frogs in Arizona.
Oh, that's true. Well, in Louisiana, it's inevitable.
Okay, that's the funny part is I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, like near the city, and then Abby grew up literally 100 feet from a cornfield, and she's the one who like had never grown up around a farm and done all that. But my grandpa had a farm, so we'd go out there and go like quail hunting and stuff.
Like, rural is different than country. Sometimes they're together, sometimes they're not.
That is true. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
And also, like, so people always assume I'm a hunter because I'm in the Robertson family, and I'm like, no, I've actually never been duck hunting with my family. I've only been deer hunting twice, and I was like, cool. I don't think I'm gonna do this again. Like that's just not for me. And I love that they do it. I really do appreciate that the men in our family do it. I think it's like a really amazing thing. And we have deer meat, and we always have like the meat of the season, of the hunting season, and that's what we eat as a family, and that's what we come around the table. And it's actually like a really beautiful tradition and stuff. I love that about my dad and my family, but I just don't like it. Like I don't want to do it, And so it's funny.
Well, you like to sleep in, and I feel
exactly. See, everyone's different. Everyone's different. So
I
I'm
don't know
like,
if you could
I
do
want to
the
get up
3:30 wake-up
early and
call.
go sit in like the cold water in the winter and kill ducks. That's just not my thing.
That's wild.
Did you have to get like initiated into Sadie's family in order to
I didn't
be
have
accepted?
to. I didn't really. I do really enjoy hunting.
You didn't
now,
have
but
to, but you just naturally did.
I just naturally did. And me and her dad are really close. We enjoy all the same things, sports and evangelism and all the different things. But we really bond over college football and tennis, and
So hunting was just natural.
hunting was natural. But I was not a big hunter growing up, but really enjoy it now. I enjoy just the sport element, just the camaraderie, and just the community elements of it.
It's
Like getting
fun.
out with your guy
Their
friends
stories
and
are
getting out
fun.
in the woods. It's really cool. It's special.
Was the success of the show at all expected? I mean,
No.
what was that like being a kid, and then everybody, I'm sure,
Yeah.
is seeing you in public and being like,
No.
Sadie, can I have a picture with you?
Yeah, no, that was very, I think, unexpected. I don't think anyone could have expected that, because it really was so different than a lot of reality shows. Like, not a lot of reality shows do hit that level of success, and so I don't think we even had we never even thought about that. We ended up, I think, how many seasons did we do? Over 10.
Yeah, it's like-
145
it was like
episodes, 5 years of filming. Like, I mean, we did not expect that. You put out one season and you don't really know what's going to come after that. And I do remember like the first times like going out and being like, oh, wow, this is kind of different and crazy. But I was shielded from that for a little bit longer than I feel like what people would have thought, because we started filming the show when I was in 8th grade, and then 9th grade year is when the show took off, and my family was traveling and doing other things, but I was in high school, like, just living a more normal lifestyle. And then the show kept getting crazier, and then my junior year of high school is when I was on Dancing with the Stars, and that's when my life changed, because it was like, oh, like now I'm not just like the kid in the Robertson family, as like I had my own following and stuff. And then that's whenever I feel like, okay, this is weird. Like, people are showing up to my basketball games because they know who I am and bringing their duck calls and quacking whenever I dribble. And like, I was like, this is not fun. So like, I feel like I didn't like experience the elevation of fame like how it was like overnight for my parents. I feel like I kind of it was like slow into it for me. And then when I was on Dancing with Stars, I was like, oh wow, this is kind of life changing.
And the cool thing for you talk about it like getting famous with your whole family
Yeah.
versus like not
I think that's what
isolation.
was so cool for us. Like, that's what I mean. It was kind of like slow, because I think when a lot of people get famous, it's just them, and it feels like so isolating. And I'm so grateful I got to, go into fame with my entire family, like my parents, my cousins, my siblings. There's like 40 of us, and like we're all like, what's happening? This is crazy. And I remember like we all had dinner, and I remember everyone was like, hey, no one get the big head. Like, this is all, this is like for the glory of God. This is what our family's doing together. This is something that like if they take it away tomorrow, we're gonna be just fine, because we were good without it. It's a blessing to have it. And so having like my mentors of my parents and like aunts and uncles and grandparents speak this over me as they're experiencing the same thing, I think is what set us up really well. Because people will say like, how did you come out okay? Because a lot of people, especially young kids, come out of reality TV or Hollywood, and it really affects them. And like, well, I can see why. Like, if I was doing that alone, it would have been really bad. Like, it would have been really, really hard. And there are so many things that were really, really hard that I went through privately, and had help to go through. But experiencing it with my whole family made it very, very special.